Today's podcast is a deep one. We ask ourselves questions such as, what actually matters when life is almost over? Why do we postpone love with the people we care about most? And many more as we try and tackle the greater question, if relationships are everything, why don't we live like it? This is a really deep episode, so lock in for some tough conversation.
We talk a lot about building a legacy, as if it's something you leave behind, or it's a will or a bank account. But I've been thinking lately, if you died tonight, the people who love you wouldn't be mourning your professional achievements. They'd be mourning the way you looked at them, the way you listened, the way you cared, that time you spent with them. This episode is going to be the emotional anchor of this legacy series that we're exploring. And I'm keen to break it down into sort of tangible bite-sized questions that we can discuss. So what actually matters when life is over?
Yeah, that's a question.
What actually matters when life is over? Are we going to look back at those financial achievements, that status within the company that we've built, and go, you know what, that's what mattered to me? Or is it going to be relationships? Is it going to be people? Is it going to be connections? Is it going to be experiences? What do we think matters when life is almost over?
I think family is pretty important. I think people who have made your life easier / happier along the way to the end of your life as well, they'll be at the forefront of my mind. And then, yeah, I mean, if I was to be told, I'm going to die, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm pretty happy with everything I did professionally. But it wouldn't be like the sole thing, you know.
It wouldn't be where your attention immediately jumps to, you know. There's not many people that get to the end of life or are sitting around waiting for death to happen, unfortunately, and go, oh, I wish I got that next promotion. I wish I sacrificed the time more that I spent with my family to better develop my career. And I'm not saying that developing your career, growing a business is a fruitless endeavor. There's naturally loads of benefits to it, but from what I understand, people that get to the to the end of their life, look back and think about the connections they made with people. Oh, I should have spent more time with my family. I should have spent more time with my friends, with my loved ones, with my partner, with my kids.
Yeah.
Because those are the connections that matter, and that's what we remember from people, right? You know, I've been quite blessed, and touch wood, that I haven't had many people I know or love pass away yet. I'm sure it will happen. It definitely will happen.
It'd be scary if it didn't, actually.
Yeah, but I could imagine that when people look back at someone that has passed away, they remember the time they spent with them. You know, no one's going, oh, I wish they gave me more in their will. You know? Yeah, okay, so connection and relationships, presence of loved one, being surrounded by friends and family. I heard something quite grounding. It was like, if your parents are in their sort of 70s, 80s, you might only have a few more visits to their house.
Yeah, even if they're not that old. Like, I think it's from as low as, like, if you see them twice a year, how many years do you think they're going to live? Well, 10. Then you're only seeing them 20 more times. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, when you put numbers on it like that, it just grounds so much feeling, doesn't it? It really hits home the scarcity of life. Okay. So if we're hypothesizing that we think it's relationships and connections,
Yes.
do you think people then, as an extension of that, worry the things they didn't say? Or the things they did say? What I'm trying to get is, like, do people worry about the feelings they expressed? Because I would imagine when you get to the end of life, you probably want to tell people more how much you love them.
Yeah, you probably sort of almost regret not saying something just that one more time, or, you know.
Yeah, it's the unspoken words, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the things you took for granted you probably wish you hadn't.
Yeah, there's times where someone did something that you really were grateful for, and you just didn't maybe let them know as much as you did. You know, that time you really showed up for me, I was really down, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm really, really thankful. You know, I think there's a lot of male friendship groups that don't say, like, I love you to their friends, which I think is really sad. There's actually a guy in our friendship group that doesn't say it. He's like, I wouldn't say it. I wonder if you can guess who it is.
Yeah.
But he just refuses to say it, whereas I'm like, I don't care. Yeah, I want you guys to know how important you guys are to me.
Yeah.
You know, last thing I would ever want is for someone that is important to me, if I did ever pass away, to be like, did I matter in his life? And of course you did. So do you think when people get to the end of life, they think the same? They wonder whether people actually cared for them or whether people knew that they cared for them?
I think so. Or maybe you don't even worry about that. Maybe you're just focusing on the connections that you know you did have that you know were strong. Maybe you don't dwell so much. Obviously, it will depend on the individual.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. I also wonder what matters when you get to the end of life. I wonder if it's freedom from pain as well. Just as a little side note.
Emotional pain?
Yeah.
Could be. Or maybe it intensifies. Maybe you do regret more things. You're like,
Maybe.
I wish I was 67 again.
Maybe that's the scary thing about growing old, is if we're not living a life that feels aligned with who we are, then maybe we do start living with regret. Now, that terrifies me. But I think, unfortunately, that is likely a part of life, living with regret.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many options in life. That's the hardest thing. Because if you're like 50-50 on a decision, but you know you've got to make one, you just make one. It doesn't mean that the other one was going to be a wrong decision.
Yeah.
So you've got to live with that because you've gone down a certain road.
Do you want to hear the top 5 on average regrets of people that are near close to the end of their life?
Yeah.
First regret is not living true to oneself. So living a life based on other people's expectations. The second one is working too much. People regret working too much and not spending time with friends and family. And apparently that's especially true for men. Not expressing feelings. So not sharing how they feel, not having the courage to speak up.
Is this the greatest regrets at deathbeds or just things that Will has said in previous podcasts?
Both. Staying in touch, so maintaining friendships. Letting themselves be happier, which is a really interesting one. So realizing that happiness is more of a choice than people realize. Yeah. What actually matters most when life is almost over. So why do we postpone love with the people we care about most?
I think it's because when you love somebody, it feels comfortable. Like you feel comfortable around your parents, you feel comfortable around your girlfriend, you feel comfortable around your siblings. And that comfort allows for laziness. As in, I could just go and see them tomorrow, or I can just call them next week, or I can, it doesn't have to be done now. Like one of my brothers lives in Exeter. I'm not driving to Exeter so I can see him. Like I'll just wait until the next time I see him.
So we take it for granted. We always expect there's going to be another time. Because we're blessed, we live in a world where people do live long, healthy lives. We expect there's always going to be another time. Interesting. I mean, it's a good practice, gratitude, to be grateful for what we have, but yeah, maybe it's making us blind to the reality that life is still short and fleeting.
Yeah. I mean, if you compare it to the people that used to die in their 30s and 40s, we'll still see those main characters in our lives more than they would. So I think just acknowledging that helps you be more grateful.
Why else do you think people postpone love with the people they care about most? Do you think it has anything to do with, say, vulnerability and rejection?
Yeah, it could be. You don't want to wind people up.
Yeah, maybe we're scared that if we express our true authentic selves, so we lay down a boundary, or we're scared that if we become vulnerable with someone, we might get rejected, or they might not like the person we portray or we've given to them. So maybe it's a fear of that vulnerability which postpones the love that we could have for that person. If there's something you want to talk about with your loved ones, with your partner, you're scared to do so. It's stopping you from getting deeper and engaging on a deeper, more intimate level with that person. Why else do we postpone love with the people we care about most? I do think you're right. It might be something to do with sort of the idea there's always going to be more time. You know, we're always going to get more time, and we're only reminded of death as someone gets close to it, right? Like, we don't have this interaction and go, oh, that might be the last time I see Will. But it could be.
Could be.
Which is scary. We don't want to think about that. So maybe that's where it comes from as well, is the fear of death means that we don't actually think about the issue itself. Because we're scared of death and what that would mean and what that would look like and how it plays out in our life, we just don't actually acknowledge it for what it is. Therefore, we're postponing that ability to really deeply connect with that person.
Well, it'd also be a pretty horrible way to live. Like, if every time you leave the podcast studio, I'm like, that could be the last time I saw Connor.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it would be terrifying all the time. You just think, oh, well, I'm never going to see anyone again.
It would heighten your level of stress, wouldn't it? You would
Yeah.
feel constantly on edge, yeah.
Like, I think the human body behaves better when it can predict with relative accuracy what's going to happen. So if you're not showing signs of immediate death, then I'm willing to take that on face value, you know? But yeah, interesting one. I wonder how much the vulnerability plays into it.
I reckon that's probably the key factor, the vulnerability. You know, people postpone love because they're fearful of being vulnerable and open and being truly seen and allowing themselves to be truly seen as well. You know, we keep that slight wall up because it means that they can't hurt us. But it also means if we keep that slight wall up, they can't love us as authentically as they could. So we're stopping ourselves from feeling that love with the people we care about most. And maybe it is only as we get close to death we realise that we've done that. And then we're filled with remorse or regret, and we do everything we can to want to spend more time with these people. I think it's also stress, like stress of day-to-day life. You know, we just get so all-encompassed in what's going on ourselves. You know, what I'm living with, my realities, my stresses, my overwhelming thoughts and feelings, that I don't have time to connect with you because my life is crazy right now. You know, work's always busy.
Yeah, it's just a mismatched priorities.
So do you think people should have a slightly different set of priorities? Should we put slightly more weight into relationships and into personal connections?
I think it's so dependent on the individual. Because some people will work their entire lives, love every second of it, not really care about their relationships with other people, get on their deathbed and be like, yep, that was a great life. Whereas others would be like, oh, I wish I hadn't worked and I wish I'd spent more time with my family. So, I don't know. If you feel a natural pull to like, oh, I wish I was actually spending more time with my family, then maybe go and see them, you know?
Yeah. And also maybe go see them and share that you're feeling that as well.
Yeah.
You know, just be slightly vulnerable, and you might find that actually deepens the connection more so.
And it might make it easier for you to see them if they're making the effort to come and see you more as well.
Exactly. Yeah, agreed. I really like that, man. I got a little side note question for you. And obviously anyone listening as well can comment, but who would you call if you only had 1 hour left? If you knew categorically you only had 1 hour left, who would you call?
Probably Soph, my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bad news. I won't be here in an hour. She's like, what? Yeah, probably. Then I'd call my mum and my dad. Be like, ta-ra.
Yeah, see ya.
Yeah. And my grandparents, maybe. Brothers. Yeah, I can't really, like, my mum's parents live near, but my mum doesn't live within an hour, so like I couldn't see anyone. I could see my grandparents maybe. I could see Soph, but if she was at work it'd be tight depending on traffic. Like, yeah, so I'd just, see the people I could see, let the people outside of that hour vicinity know, and then, yeah, probably die in a really awkward position. I just like stuff myself behind some bins or something. I've only got an hour, I might as well have fun.
Might as well have fun. Okay. Nice. I've got a follow-up question, and I will answer these as well. And I hate myself for asking this question to you because I know I'll have to answer it. But do you think you make enough time in your day-to-day life for the people you listed?
No. I know I don't.
Mm.
Like, I'm just too cocky. It's like, I've got so much important stuff going on. Like, I'll call them when I'm bored. And then it's like, I spoke to Mum the other day, but it'd been like a month before then, last time I spoke to her.
Hmm.
And like, I haven't got a problem with my mum. It's like, I just don't call her. My dad calls me every day. And because we've been in that routine since I was like 10, now when he doesn't call, I call him. And that because it just feels like that's how I end my day. If Dad doesn't call between like 4 p.m. and 8 p.m, like he must be dead. Yeah.
Something's wrong. But I love that. It's that accountability. You know that someone's there to like wants to talk with you. That's really nice.
Yeah. So I'll call it, but yeah, everyone else, like my nan and granddad I meet up with for coffees and whatever. My girlfriend I have to see every day. So yeah.
Nice. I would say mother, father, brother, immediately. Grandparents, it would be a busy hour.
Yeah.
Grandparents on both sides, auntie and uncle on mum's side, and then friends. I would rattle off friends, you know.
You wouldn't just post an Instagram story.
I don't post an Instagram story now.
Yeah, but
we were moaning
desperate
yesterday.
times.
We were moaning yesterday about people being like, just taking a break from social media. No one cares. Popping off in an hour. No one cares.
No, I think your friends would like. You could spend a bit more time on that message because you wouldn't need to tell them directly.
Nah, someone would just like swipe up, LOL,
like,
send, yeah, this is it, fire emoji. Yeah, and do I think I make enough time for these people? Some of them, yes. Some of them, no. And yeah, it's a pretty hard reality. But you're right. Why do I want to surround myself thinking about death all the time? It's a pretty somber way to live.
It is somber. What a word.
Thank you. I was saving it for the right time.
Wait.
That felt like it. It was in my back pocket.
83 or whatever.
Sorry?
Is this episode 83?
I actually don't know. I've not listed this one. Is it 83?
It must be 83 or 84.
I don't know. I'll have a look at the end. So why do relationships get sacrificed for success? So as we mentioned, some of the regrets as people get closer, especially with men, is they didn't spend enough time with their loved ones and they spent too much time on work.
Does it mean financial success?
Let's just talk about success as a whole, but I would assume it means financial, professional, personal success.
Yeah, it's because when you're working on those things, there's no time for anyone else in your life. It's like the job, the pursuit requires all of your attention. And there is just no time.
You're allocating all your resources, time, money, effort to that area, whether that's the career, the business, so that naturally pulls all your allocations away from connecting with others.
Yeah. It's like quite a self-destructive thing, but also it's like, can you really blame the individuals that do it because they're just wanting to better their own lives?
It's the ambition, isn't it? It's a double-edged sword. You know, every positive comes with a negative to some degree. And ambition, for highly successful individuals that have a high drive, a high workload, high work ethic, likely means that they're sacrificing time with other people to focus purely on their ambition.
Yeah.
And again, only because we're framing it in the context of legacy and relationships does it come across as a bad thing. But at the time, it is also an admirable thing. You know, that person that works hard is admirable. But again, who's to say whether pursuing something to the extent of damaging relationships and friendships and connections is right or wrong? You know, everyone lives their life slightly differently. But I think you're right. I think relationships get sacrificed for success because of resource allocation. They can't evenly spread everything, and if they're hyper focused and they've got a strong ambition, they've got to be really pragmatic and they've just got to focus on that goal. I'd also say there's somewhat of a different lifestyle that comes with it as well. You know, if you're someone that is successful, it likely comes with a different lifestyle. So whether that's long hours, high stress, travel, whatever it might be, if you've pursued a career or your own business, it's hard for loved ones to necessarily adapt to that schedule. You know, so sometimes people might prioritize themselves and stay single, or it becomes difficult to date or make time for their friends and family because their lifestyle's so different. You know, we all might have that friend that's building a business or high up within their company, and they're like, I wake up and I've got to go to work. Like, if there's an emergency, I've got to answer it.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting how some people are driven and hardwired for success and ambition and big goals, whereas some people are like, nope. Like, I've got a friend, I love him dearly, who doesn't really care about, he doesn't have many professional ambitions. He's like, I want a family. I want to be as connected to my family as possible. As long as my job pays my wages and my mortgage, I don't care. And I'm like, I love that, man. You know? And if that's what works for you, awesome. Yeah. And I have no doubt he'll be the best father out of anyone I know. I have no doubt. Because that's what he wants to be.
Must be so relaxing.
He is a very relaxed guy. He is. Any other ideas of why relationships get sacrificed for success?
Maybe it's because you might be different to the people you have relationships with. Meaning, like, I have a lot of ambition to be successful in business. My mum doesn't have the same. Therefore, it's harder for me to have common ground. Whereas it's maybe easier for me to talk to Dad about those things because he understands those things.
Yeah.
So it could just be a mismatch of interest.
Yeah. As simple as interest. You're right. It could be. Yeah. If your circle isn't interested in the things you're interested in, then likely you might find that it's hard to connect with them all the time. And yeah, if that comes down to success, then yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And it doesn't mean that you don't value them in your life. It just means that you don't have the same level of things to talk about.
It's just that it's being sacrificed for success. Yeah, agreed. So I think as well, some people might fear that not prioritizing success early on will leave them with fewer options or a less fulfilling life later in life, which probably means that they put relationships on hold as well.
Yeah.
So I think that might come into it.
It's nice that you've got an example in front of you on like
all
of these
so
things.
Easy. It's so easy. Speaking of work and success, do you think people regret work? So the work they put in so significantly and so much investment. Do you think people regret work or lost relationships more? So which one do you think people regret losing more?
I don't know. Like, so you're saying, would I rather sacrifice relationships or sacrifice work?
I think at this point we're talking more on averages, you know, because I know your answer and I know mine.
You know my answer, I don't know my answer.
I think you'd probably regret, well, I don't know, in this moment work, but maybe actually I'm wrong in future life, you might be actually relationships.
They're equal for me.
But I would say I reckon on average, people will regret lost relationships more than they would regret work.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, relationships will outweigh your career. You know, having a better romantic partner, more family related engagement probably leads to a higher level of happiness consistently.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
It's satisfying on an emotional, deeper level, isn't it, if there's somebody else involved? If it's just, yay, I got 1 million views. Woo.
Yeah, it's more sort of external, whereas the feeling you get from love is like internal, and you can acknowledge that and you can grow with it.
Yeah.
I like that. Again, it's one of those top regrets we mentioned earlier, is people spending too much time on work and not enough time with their partner or their family or their kids. It's interesting though. It's sad, isn't it? Because we put such an emphasis on career in our life. We do. We've said this before in other episodes, which is, so what are you going to be in your life? It's a child asks, what do you want to be? Rather than who are you, and all these sort of deeper, more emotive questions. But we put such an emphasis on work and career and success, which, from my understanding of this conversation, is less valuable when it comes to the end of life.
Yeah, but I think different things become valuable at different stages of life. So I think when you are young, your focus should be on setting yourself up with a career, because that's ultimately going to be the thing that sets you up to be able to have a family. And then if you've got a family, then maybe you want to live like your friend who just prioritizes the family, and as long as they earn enough money, then that's great. Maybe that's the balance. But I think it does go through phases.
I think that's a different walk of life for everyone. It might be that someone is, maybe if the ladder is, say, the success ladder is straight here in front of me, it's going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whether that is like business or career, whatever it might be. If it's 1 to 10, someone might jump off at 1 and go more towards relationships. Someone might be all the way at 10, because people have deemed different levels as the right point to jump off and focus more on family. The issue is you don't know at one point on that journey you might be surrounded by death. Or reminded of, or close to. So it might be for you, yours is 7. Might be for me, mine's 2. And neither are wrong, but it is that how much of the sacrifice of the family and the connection are you willing to make, or could you perceive yourself being willing to make before having it as more of a priority? And it might be that you're able to do both simultaneously and you're just magic. Or it might be that it is extremely challenging to balance both. And then it's what's important for you right now. Is it the career? Or is it the family? Or the friends? The relationship? Where do you think you are right now?
In my podcast studio. About where I am.
It's hard talking about legacy, isn't it? It's hard talking about relationships and death.
Yeah. I reckon I'm about 2 years away from work only being 50% of my focus.
About a year away from only 50% of your focus.
Yeah, and the other 50% will be my family at that point.
Okay.
Because at the moment work is 98% and my relationship is 2%. Like, I will change it. So I'm half and half.
Nice. And you feel confident you'll be able to make that separation?
Yeah, I think that'll be a good balance for me. Because there's nothing more important than I'm doing all of this for my family. So it'd be really dumb if I had a family and then didn't spend any time with them. That's just what's
I lied, it's for me.
Yeah, what's the point,
Yeah, no, I get that.
Psych.
No.
How many followers do you have, baby? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Work harder. Here's your phone. Go on, grow your business. It's there, live streaming.
Yeah, I'm actually nervous about that.
What?
What age you give them phones and access to social media and technology. I have no idea how it's all going to play out.
When do you think might be the right call?
I want to say
And I'm not judging your answer because I also have no idea.
Yeah, it's so difficult. I think so much of it will depend on how much I trust the child, to be honest. Because if he's wacky and a psycho without a phone, I'm not going to enhance that.
He doesn't need further stimulation.
Exactly. But if maybe secondary school age, so 11, 12, I'm really not convinced I'm going to send my kids to secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might even pull them out at the end of primary, so at the end of year 2, and just homeschool. Because I think they'll just learn the things that matter. They'll learn self-employment skills, they'll learn employability skills because they'll be working from a young age and involved as part of the business day to day. And then can go and get jobs and whatever afterwards if they want, but they will have learned all the skills of employment and self-employment. And just know that, like, by age 7, you know all the maths you need to know to be successful. So you do. So why stress? Just, I genuinely, if you gave a 7-year-old a laptop and guidance, they could build a multi-million-pound business. I'm convinced of it.
7?
Yeah, because they learn so fast. So by age 10, I swear they could. Because they don't have any prejudgments on what should happen because of this. Like, they can just look at something and be like, oh, that didn't work.
What were you doing at age 7?
Playing basketball.
Could you grow a multi-million-pound business?
Nobody ever showed me, but I was very, very capable of sitting down and learning. Like, I was reading and writing before I went into reception. Like, I can do work. It was just, nobody ever showed me. So I'm going to make sure to show them.
Okay.
And so, I'd say I'm wrong, so it takes them until they're 15. Well, no. You know?
Okay.
Like, if you make it, like I've said before at the lemonade stand, like, I'm going to make my kids set up a lemonade stand, and then we'll have a look. Okay, how many sales did we make? Okay, we made 3 in this location. Okay, cool. Let's try another location, just see if that works better. And then what we'll do, that's an A/B test. That's what that is. So we're already getting like the advertising stuff in them from that age. And then we go, okay, that's interesting. How about we try it over here, like at this park where there's even more people. Oh, that works even better. Nice. Now let's try another. You know, it's A/B test, A/B test, A/B test. And then suddenly, oh wait, we're making 500 quid a weekend and we're only 5. Like it's
okay.
You know,
I'm interested to see how this plays out for you.
it's they're gonna be sick. I can't wait. Baby John.
Okay. You tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself, dude.
Heard it here first, guys. Baby John going to be the world's youngest millionaire that wasn't born into it.
Pause that. I'm going to pee. I know, sorry, dude. Again, I told you, if I go to the gym before, I tend to drink a lot of water. Soz.
Why am I such an idiot?
Why would you ever dry scoop creatine, dude?
I didn't think it would be bad. It is. Oh, that happened. Yeah, my kids will be fine.
Right, you ready?
Yes.
Why does later feel safer than being vulnerable now?
Because you're deferring it, you're putting it off. It means that you don't have to be vulnerable now.
Don't have to do the hard thing right away.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's procrastination.
So why is vulnerability so hard?
Because it's completely letting your guard down.
Do you think vulnerability implies complete letting down of your guard?
Yeah.
I disagree.
How can you be vulnerable without letting down your guard?
You can, but you can let it down a little bit.
An example?
So say when I went through my last breakup, I wasn't there telling everyone everything that went on. I told some people everything that went on, but I told some people a little bit. I let in a little bit of vulnerability to see how they react, to see if I was safe to continue sharing.
That's a good example.
Yeah, I know. So again, I think vulnerability isn't an all or nothing scenario. I think it can be for some people, but I don't think it should be. But I agree, later feels safer than being vulnerable now because it's deferring it, it's pushing it away. It means you don't have to have the difficult conversation, you don't have to be open with people right away. It just creates this added illusion of sort of safety. It's the fear of rejection and judgment, isn't it? You know, why aren't we vulnerable? Why don't we open up? Because we're scared of the impact that we'll have. If someone does open up, if I'm honest with someone, are they going to reject it? Are they going to like who that person is that I'm sharing them? Do I like that person that is being shared?
Mm.
You know, there's so many questions that come with that fear of rejection. You don't want to be seen as too much or weak. You know, how many men fear opening up because it's like they don't want to be seen as weak. You just need to man up, bro.
Yeah. It's my internal mantra.
Is it? Man up, bro.
Man up, bro. Yeah.
3 words.
Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? Gotta be me. But yeah, it's. I do wish I could be more emotionally open.
Maybe we need an emotional guidance Goggins. You know, we've got the Goggins for hard work and discipline and like doing it even when you don't feel like it. But maybe we need the emotional guidance Goggins. Like,
Who's going to let out the tears?
Yeah, exactly.
And the fears.
Who's going to carry the tissues?
Yeah. And the sobs.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe we need that.
Yeah. It's
Because
not quite as compelling though, is it?
Depends how you market it. A couple of A/B tests in there. Get Baby John on it, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But no, so there's a fear of rejection and judgment, really, around being vulnerable, isn't it? And then when we do open up, there is that period for people that don't feel comfortable to do it of like embarrassment, regret, overthinking the interaction, you know? Have you ever opened up to someone and you're like, oh, fuck, like, they did not want that. You just start going through the conversation again and again and again because you're worried. You overthink it. You know, and again, that feels horrible.
Yeah.
Because not only was the vulnerability tough, now you're overthinking the vulnerability. It's like the hangover from the vulnerability. That's not fun.
No.
No. I also think as well, it feels safer to be vulnerable later than now because people might have already had negative experiences with being vulnerable.
And also there's a chance of you having processed it by then. So it might not be necessary.
So you're looking almost with hindsight, like, oh, I might actually not need that help.
Yeah.
You know, I can do this myself.
You're just looking for ways to get out.
Maybe it feels like you're trying to be in control then. Maybe there's a vulnerability element which feels like you're out of control.
It's like, you see the experiment with the monkeys and the hot plate? No. So they put, this is barbaric, but it's a true
Most experiments are.
They put mother monkeys with baby monkeys in a metal box and slowly started to turn up the heat of the floor, right? And it was getting really hot and they're all dancing around. And for the first sort of however long, all of the monkeys were looking for a way out, right? And that's the sort of, in our example, that's the looking for a reason not to be vulnerable. And then eventually all the mother monkeys end up placing their children monkeys on the floor and standing on them to keep their feet safe. And that would be us sort of actually finally going through and sharing. But you have to turn up that heat an awful lot for us to actually want to do something like that. It feels like you're giving up a massive part of yourself. So yeah.
What was the point of that experiment? Just to see at what point
Well, to see what whether they would give themselves up or whether they'd...
Oh, I see. Okay. That's a really interesting way to have that experiment.
Yes. You could not do that, even with animals anymore.
No.
Not allowed.
Well, testing on animals is wrong. We should just do that with humans.
There are some experiments that they do just on humans.
Really?
You get paid to do it as well. You earn like £1,000 a week just by taking random drugs.
Oh.
seeing what it does.
No, thank you.
But yeah, the cost is like
Your health.
you might get 3 really good weeks, and on the 4th one, it just ruins your life.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, you might be fine. You might get the placebo every time, and
Yeah, it's like the giving sperm to the sperm banks is great for the first 18 years, and then suddenly, day after day, you get 18-year-old kids knocking down your door saying, "Hey, are you my dad?"
Have you ever watched the Netflix documentary, Man with the 1,000?
Oh
Legs?
yeah, that's crazy.
Man,
And also the episode of Family Guy,
I haven't
where
seen that one.
Peter was going to the sperm bank loads, and then suddenly there's like 1 million Peters outside his front door.
Oh god, I haven't seen that. I can dread the thing. What kind of emotional legacy do we leave behind? So I think that's a good overarching question.
Emotional legacy.
Yeah, because we're looking at legacies, aren't we? We're looking at what sort of impact we leave behind. And if we're discussing relationships, what kind of emotional legacy do we leave behind? Surely that is how you made people feel.
Mm.
You know, how did you make people feel through your actions, your values, your presence, your creating memories together, your kindness, your inspiration? Now that, I would say, that is your emotional legacy. Would you not?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
So maybe a better way to ask this is, rather than what's your emotional legacy or what emotional legacy do you leave behind, is how do you feel after you hang out with someone that you care for? Now, how did they make you feel? You know, what feelings did they make you feel? Did they make you feel valued, heard, respected? Or did they just disregard who you were, what you were saying?
Were you used?
Yeah, exactly.
Or did they give you a new hope for life? Are they like the person you would just follow into battle?
Are they inspirational? Yeah. Are they passionate?
Are they a positive role model? As well, to a point. Not quite as emotional, but it's somebody that you would like to emulate, I suppose, and you probably want to emulate them because of the way that they made you feel.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. Are they a positive role model? Likely, if they're a positive role model, they are exhibiting traits that you would like to embody yourself. So how do we build an emotional legacy?
By not being a drain on resources.
What do you mean by that?
So you can go to a friendship group, your own friendship group even, not just a random one.
I just, turn up at a random friendship group, they're having coffee, be like, hey guys, I'm here.
Yeah. Hello.
I'm building a legacy. Would you like it?
It's an emotional one.
Would you like it?
Are you the one that's always moaning and like taking the energy out of the group, or are you injecting more in?
Sorry to interrupt, it's the strive to have your absence noted, not your presence felt.
So are you trying to inspire your friendship group? Are you trying to better them? Are you trying to give them hope when they're hopeless? I think that's how you... And but it's not just that one time. It's on every exposure. Are you giving them hope? Are you lifting them up? Are you being positive? Are you approaching the group with a smile? And then on the times when you do show your vulnerable side, people will want to help you because you've already helped them.
You've created a safe space for them. You've created a loving, nurturing, supporting environment.
Yeah.
Or you try to, by the words and the actions you take. You're patient with people, you listen, you encourage people to share, you help bring people into the group if there's someone that's outside. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Yeah, nice. You create a nice, safe space for people. I like that.
It's also a bit like in advertising, give, ask, which is provide value. That could be through free content. It can be through free information packs, whatever. And then after you provided so much value, the idea is that it's okay for you to then ask for them to buy something off you, as in try and make the sale. But unless you provided enough value up front, everyone will say no.
So you're saying you want to help show your worth or just prove your sort of value by being an emotional safe space, being the emotional Goggins in the group. Nice. And that doesn't mean that you're always the one that's leading emotionally charged conversations or always breaking down in tears. It just means you're creating a safe space. You're fostering an environment of trust and care. I think what's cool with that is like small actions. You pick up, you remember people's birthdays. You remember their partner's names, the small things. How was your holiday to XYZ? You remember those small details. It shows that you want to build trust with that person because you're remembering what's important to them. That's the best way to feel seen, is if someone remembers. How great does it feel when someone goes, oh, like, man, if you had a haircut, you're like, oh, yeah, I have. You're like, yeah, it looks good, man. It's just those small things, isn't it?
Your hair is actually looking really good at the moment.
Thank you very much. I showered this morning.
Very strong.
Thank you. I showered.
Nice.
And then put stuff in my hair.
I cannot say the same for myself.
Yeah, you need to do both of those things.
I do. That's what 2 o'clock is for.
You need to have a haircut.
I do need to have a haircut, but I need to have a hair wash first. I don't like going to barbers knowing that I haven't washed my hair today.
Really?
Yeah. I feel bad. Like, you imagine how many people barbers get where it's like, oh, you've got greasy hair, I've got to cut yours. I don't want to ever be that person. So I'd always make sure I wash my hair before I go to the barbers, then I wash it after.
Fair enough. I think as long as it's somewhat clean, then yeah, fine. And obviously, yeah, don't want it greasy, but...
It just does. It just stays. But I'm really tempted to go for the dreads at last. Like, I'll get the back and side shaved, and then the dreads, then I'll get the dreads dyed. I'm going to do it. Blonde, pink, green, and blue. No brown. You'll be able to see at the roots, but that's cool.
Are you done?
I might get a grill as well. They'll be talking like this.
You're just asking to be bullied.
By who?
Me?
Well, yeah, but I can deal with that.
You want to bet? You ain't said nothing yet.
You'll turn up and be like, well, we can't film a
The
podcast.
podcast is done.
Yeah.
You're shaving your hair. You're going
Nobody's
buzz cut.
taking you serious.
You're going buzz cut. Why is it so hard to be fully present with people we love? So we've talked about vulnerability. We've talked about building the emotional legacy. But what are the barriers that we put in place to be fully present with people?
That's a really interesting one because I know it to be true. I know I struggle to be present with people I value in my life. But there's no good reason. It's just distractions, I suppose. It's distractions like the TV's on, so I'm watching the TV.
Yep.
I'm like half in the conversation, half watching TV. Or it's I'm on my phone and I'm listening
Phone's
to
the big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many people do you see that sitting down for dinner, coffee, whatever it might be, and their phone is on the table? Just that action alone detracts people from the conversation.
By
And
50% or something, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's so many tools in place to not let that happen. Put your phone in your pocket. If you got a watch like mine, put it on Do Not Disturb. Mine's always on when we're doing this. It's always on when I go out for walks or coffees or dinners with people, so I can be with that person. Because everyone hates it when it's like someone's talking and then they go, yeah, yeah, oh, okay, yeah, sorry, what were you saying? You're just like, well, fuck me then. I've told you one of my pet peeves is people interrupting me or not listening or having to repeat myself. It's like, if I told you something, I would like for you to remember it. But if you don't remember it, to me, it shows that you don't care. But again, we've got these distractions in place, the phone, the TV, the stresses of modern life, whether it's business or work or anything like that. There's so much going on that just pulls us away from being fully present with people. Is that something you struggle with?
It is something I struggle with. Something I want to get better at, but my actions aren't telling me that I want to get better at.
It's hard, that, isn't it? Sometimes when our actions are not speaking the same language.
Yeah.
Do you think it's something you will actively make better?
I hope so. But I don't know if I'm waiting for the dramatic event that causes it to happen rather than trying to do it myself If that makes sense.
What would that dramatic event
Like
be?
having kids. I know when I have kids, I'm gonna force myself no matter what. But maybe I won't ever get to have kids if I keep ignoring my girlfriend. You know.
Yeah.
So it's difficult one.
It's a difficult one.
I'm trying to make strides, I suppose. Like having days, like after today when we finish filming, I'm not working the rest of the day.
Nice.
I might do a live stream, but
I do feel bad for Sophie. I know we said we were going to film at 9 for one pod, and now it's come to 10 for 2.
Yep.
So we'll have to either just do one, or we'll rattle through the second right away.
See what she says.
Yeah. I don't want to put her out. I do feel bad.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. What do people really talk about at the end of life? We've been dancing around the subject, but end of life, legacy, relationships. What are the topics people talk about?
It might just be my experience with talking to older people, but they seem to just really appreciate the little things in life.
Okay.
So I hang out with my grandparents a lot, and a lot of the music scene is older people at the open mic nights. So a big part of, I suppose, what you consider my friendship group, but not like I'll call you in an emergency type friendship group, but a lot of people I hang around with, like I get to have conversations with them, and it's like they just really enjoy gardening, or they really enjoy going for a walk and seeing the sky. Just like really, really basic things. Or just playing guitar and like the same songs they've been playing for 50 years. It's like they just love it. And I think there's a lot younger people can learn from that, which is like you should just like, this is basically as good as life is. It's like you're just not acknowledging it. So yeah, it's quite humbling.
Then they start to understand gratitude a little bit clearer.
Yeah. They're definitely more thankful for everyone they have in their life. And it could be because they've lost 5 of their friends already. It could be that that's just what happens when you get to that age. But yeah, I think you just have a greater appreciation for life as you're realising it's coming to an end.
I like that. Gratitude. Yeah, really cool. I think you're right. I reckon that is something a lot of people talk about. Naturally, we've been talking about relationships, so I would reckon that is a significant discussion when people get to the end of life. They start talking about relationships, the people they've met, the people they've lost, the people they're going to be losing, probably expressing appreciation like you said, but maybe even resolving old conflicts. It might be at that point, if they realise that they are passing away, maybe they just don't want their legacy with someone to be bad. You know, we've spoken about all the wonderful things that people can say to each other as they come into end of life, but it might be that people are like, you know, I want to squash that beef. It's done. Like, why are we worrying about this?
I've heard a lot of the older people say they want to squash that beef.
It's quite a common term amongst the elderly, to be honest.
They walk up to me at Wagwan.
They do.
I want to squash that beef. Brap.
Yeah.
6, 7.
I reckon these are all things that elderly people say.
Yeah. What's some other things that elderly people say, Connor?
What's crack-a-lackin'?
That's good.
What up with it?
Sup? Sir, dude.
Yeah, they definitely say sir. What else do people talk about as they get to end of life? Regrets has obviously got to be a big one.
Yeah. And maybe even having focused one-to-one conversations with their descendants.
Descendants.
What?
It's just funny the way you said it.
Like
kin.
Yeah. If you're a dad, you might talk to your children, and you might
hope.
And you might say, you know, I'm really proud of you for doing X, Y, and Z, and just share your appreciation of them and their life. And then also maybe share, like, you know, make sure you look after X, Y, and Z other people. Lead by example in this area.
Do you want to pass on some like messages, some wisdom? So maybe they're passing on their lessons that they've learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's probably what comes down to maybe like practicalities as well, making sure that they've passed on their lessons. They know what people need to do once they pass away. My mum has a what to do when I die book that lives in the filing cabinet, so I know exactly where it is if she ever passes away. Like, I know what to do with all of her finances and her house and everything. I know what she wants. I know where her will is. I suppose that's probably a big talking point.
Have you got a will?
I've got you,
Haha.
but no.
No, I don't either.
I've got nothing to pass on.
You do, though.
Yeah, I do. A Nissan Micra that starts every third time. It makes a screeching sound every turn I
For a
turn
few
the-
more, if you were to die in the next few days, you've got a surfboard.
Yeah, true. Well, maybe in 4.5 more hours it might be sold.
Oh,
Hopefully.
longboard?
Yeah, but my longboard's coming with me
Is it?
with pride and joy.
Yeah. You need something to ride in heaven.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to heaven. You're just being eaten by worms.
No,
No, your soul is going to get a new contract
it is. Yeah.
because you will have succeeded in your.
I hope I succeed in this soul contract.
Yeah, I think you have. I think you may. I think maybe so much of living authentically to you is making decisions independently.
I think so, because I don't think I've ever been brave enough to live or independently. So I think that might be it. I think you might be right. But also, I think touching on that, I reckon people talk about spirituality as they get close to death. Belief in God. What are their beliefs? Because I don't think it's something that is openly discussed. Is what do people believe? To the point of just understanding. Like people like to talk about to the point of judgment. You believe in God? Ugh, idiot. You don't believe in God? Ugh, idiot. I had to do the counterpart. Big eye roll. But no, people probably talk about what happens after death.
Yeah.
Which I know we've spoken about before.
Yeah, or even just come to terms with it. It must be so. I can't imagine what it's like knowing that you're gonna die in like the next year. Like, imagine how heavy that is.
Yeah. I think it depends as well where you are in your life. If I got that news now, if I found out I had terminal cancer or whatever it might be, and it is you've got a estimated of a year. Right now I'm fit and healthy. It might not stay that way. But it's like, okay, so how do I spend this year? But if you're like old and you know that you're coming close, you might be like, obviously, bruv.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably quite frequently said by old people. Obviously, bruv.
Yeah. It still must be quite disheartening. Because you're still a person.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's very difficult to deal with. And maybe it's like you feel like you're not going to get much sympathy as well. Like if you're in your 80s, you can't be annoyed at life because you're going to die.
Depends how you lived it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because if you're sitting there with loads of regrets, you're probably going to be annoyed at life.
Yeah, but you're not going to get much sympathy.
No.
Because you've had 80 years to do something about it. And also probably lack of belief. Because if you're the type of person that's always said that you want to do these things and you've just let the time elapse and now you're 80, like, if I was going to live an extra 10 years, I'd do that. Like, nobody would believe you.
Yeah.
So you've been saying that since you were 20.
Yeah, 60 years wasted. So how do you think you engage with, how do you talk to people that are talking about end of life, that are close to the end of life? Because that's got to be the other side of the coin, right? If someone is sharing, you go meet someone that is close to death. How do you engage with them? Surely you just listen.
Yeah, it's just being attentive.
Be present. Like, just be open.
Should really be the same as you talk to anyone.
You'd hope,
Yeah.
but people aren't attentive, So if we're talking about leaving a legacy, talking about relationships and the legacies, what does it mean to leave people better than you found them?
I mean, a whole range of things, couldn't it?
Let's start with one, shall we?
I think just on a simple level, they leave feeling refreshed.
Nice. Like they've just had a nice mint tea or a nice mint water. They feel refreshed.
Sure.
A nice sauna. You feel refreshed. You're the human version of a sauna.
Yeah.
That emotional Goggins.
Usually when I leave people, they're not That's sweaty.
They are when they leave me.
Jesus.
Yeah, valid. Off the rails. I made myself laugh as well, which
Yeah.
I thought was great.
Walk up to people.
All right, simmer down. But yeah, what does it mean to leave people better than you found them?
I think, yeah, feeling refreshed, maybe a weight off their shoulders, maybe just feeling more motivated to do something that they were thinking about doing, feeling encouraged. Maybe you've given them money.
I feel like you've covered so much there, man.
There's a lot. Like, it's quite a broad question.
It is, but I feel like you've hit some real nails on the head there. Like, it's not just not hurting someone. It's, like helping them feel more heard, more seen, more loved, being generous, making them feel loved and cared for. Yeah, like I think you've hit the nail on the head there, to be honest with you.
Give them energy, not subtract.
I like that. Man. So we've had a discussion about men before, and I'd like to loop this in at the end here. Why do men struggle to express love until it's almost too late?
Why do men
struggle to express love until it's almost too late?
I think men just feel like they've got to be strong all the time. So it's only when they're truly through and through vulnerable that they let any sort of vulnerability and emotion come through. In a lot of cases.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's something to do with our hardwiring. We're told, or we have been told, certain generations have been told, that men don't express their feelings. And men are providers, so you show your love through actions, when sometimes you need to express your love through words. But maybe if we've only been taught to express love through actions of providing, doing jobs around the house, actually saying to someone that we love them is really challenging, because we've probably never had that modeled, don't know how to model it ourselves. Yeah, I think you might be right. Do you express love? Do you find it hard to express love?
I do, actually.
Do you?
I find it very difficult. Because as I say, my emotional bandwidth is very narrow. Like, the only emotion I really let myself feel to its fullest extent is excitement. Everything else is just and stress.
Is stress an emotion?
I see stress as the counterpart to excitement.
Okay.
They're the two that I let into play.
But you're not very good at expressing love.
No. Or even upset and sadness. I'm not very good at expressing those. It's like if somebody upsets me, it's very difficult for me to persuade them that I'm upset. It's like you should never have to persuade somebody. Like you're.
I'm telling you, I'm upset. You don't look it. I'm brother. Look at me.
Yeah.
I am. You don't look it.
It's really it's frustrating a lot of times. But yeah, that's what I need to work on.
Okay. So a question jumping off that, because I think it could be slightly geared towards men as well. What's the difference between providing and being present?
Providing is what you bring back. Being present is how you are when you're with the people.
Okay. Yeah. Very tangible. Very easy to understand. You're right, because being present is maybe harder to provide tangible, because it is more about being there with that person. It's not like you've brought something. You are simply being there with that person.
How attentive are you, maybe?
Yeah, are you listening? Are you engaged? Are you sharing? Are you letting them be who they want to be? Do you create a safe space? Whereas providing is, like you say, it's bringing something to the table. It's being a surplus to resources, whatever that resource might be.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Do you think it's difficult for men to get that difference?
Yeah. Like, even when I'm spending time with people, my brain is racing on how I can provide more. So, yeah, I find it very difficult to zone in on one conversation. So, yeah, it's just practicing, I suppose. Same as anything. Or not
Yeah,
really
that's what it
practice.
is. Practice.
Practice makes permanent. So
I like that. Whoever told you that's a wizard.
yeah, clever person.
Call him Gandalf.
Yeah.
Last one to wrap it up, man, because I think this is a perfect question to end with. If relationships are everything, why don't we live like it?
I think we could end the episode there. I just let that one simmer.
Just
Because
mic drop. Let me just unscrew this. Mic drop and just throw it on the table.
Yeah.
I can't afford to buy you a new one, so you can just buy your own one.
Yeah. That's motto of the podcast, really.
Yeah.
No,
I provide the vibes.
if relationships are so important, why don't we live like it?
Yeah.
Like, there is no excuse. There is no excuse. But everybody seems to do it. Everyone seems to push back relationships. So I think just let that question sit.
We're going to let it sit and simmer.
Yeah.
Sit and spin. Sit, spin and simmer. Anything else that you can add on to that train of S's?
Sausages.
Nice. Okay. So if relationships are everything, why don't we act like it?